Testing. All right, if we can have everyone's attention, we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. It's not super convenient, but I'm over here under the tent. We are filming this so that way it'll go live on YouTube and be available afterwards online. Quickly, I just want to start off by congratulating everyone that's here. You guys earned your way here. It's an honor just to get a spot at this regatta. So round of applause for yourselves. Congratulations. Also, we'd like to recognize all the various groups of people that helped this regatta come together this year. That includes the Sacramento State Aquatic Center staff and volunteers. The volunteer referee corps that's like you, they're here from across the country. They're the best from where they're from. And they're giving their free time to come and make sure you have a good time this weekend. Your coaches, especially the Youth Nationals Advisory Council, that are instrumental in making sure the way the regatta is set up and rules are fair and achieve what we're looking to do here. And then finally, also your parents for bringing you to practice and all the things they've done to help you get here. So quick round of applause for all those different people. Just to give everyone a quick rundown, I have a couple of administrative things to touch on. Then we'll turn it over to Dee Dee from the Aquatic Center for a few parking rules, venue-related items. Then our chief referee will go over a few rules questions. And then at the end, our CEO, Patrick McNerney, will have a brief update for coaches on the progress of the lightweight task force and some of the work that they're doing so far. So real quick, credentials for athletes, the yellow wristbands. Make sure all of your athletes that are competing have them. They will need them to get through the admission gate. They will need them for weigh-ins and to launch a control commission. So make sure they have them. And that they're on first thing in the morning and they stay on all weekend. Don't let them cut them off before racing's done. Lineups, if there are any last minute lineup changes that need to be made, Regatta Central will be open until 9 o'clock tonight to accept those, so please do those online. After 9 o'clock, you'll have to do it here on site. So make sure to get those in tonight, coaches. Each night when the heat sheet is finalized, I'll send out an email to let everyone know. Most people are familiar with the Here Now heat sheet, but it does change in real time. So at the end of the day, when we're making all the changes we need to make for the next day, I'll send out an email to let everyone know when all those changes are done and when the heat sheet is finalized for the next day. Tonight, that email is going to go out after the 9 o'clock deadline, so it'll be a little bit later tonight, but each night we'll get it earlier and earlier, so you don't have to stay up late every night waiting for that. We have a weather text message alert system. We don't expect to need it this weekend, but just in case we do, everyone should have received a text message yesterday about practice. If you did not and you want to be on the text messaging list, find me after the meeting and give me your number and I'll add you to the list for any future communications. All right, that's everything I have. Next up, we have Dee Dee Birch, who's here with the Aquatic Center.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Lake Natoma. I'm very, very happy for those of you that came from good weather, that you brought the good weather with you, and those of you who came from bad weather, that you left it behind you. So thank you. I just need to go over some logistics here for the site. Some of this we've gone over with the coaches who picked up their packet, but the more people that know it, the better everything will go for racing for everybody. For safety purposes, if you've brought a bike, that's awesome. Bring it up and ride it until you get to this tent. Once we go past here to all the other hospitality tents and that with the crowds that we'll have, no biking on your bicycles on the sidewalks, please. Okay. There's a row of bicycles here. If parents want to rent a bike, there's actually a map in that of how they can get to the start line and actually watch starts of races. Some people like to do that. That's available and will be manned starting tomorrow. There's going to be no parking in the park. Now that we've seen where we're at, how many boats we have, how many vendors we have, we need to get those people in here so you can see the latest and greatest new toys that you just have to have for rowing next season. And we want to make that available. And then all of these officials and that we need to get in here. So we've just got no more room because having the boats here is our major priority. We will still have the athlete drop-off to come in and do that athlete drop-off. But we need to do that quickly, right? Athletes should have their bags in their hands, not stored in the back of the van that we have to open it all up and get everything out. I work the California International Marathon. We move 1,000 cars with 3,000 participants in 35 minutes. So you can make this happen by being prepared. So I ask you, be prepared. Your backpack is with you, your water bottle's ready, your shoes, whatever you need that's gonna make you go the fastest you can go in that time trial. Be ready to get out of your vehicle quickly so that the next vehicle can offload your competitors. Because it's no fun without competitors. Okay? As you come in, it'll probably be backlogged because it's a lot of boats going through the time trials. But if it's not and you feel like you're running late, it is a 15 mile an hour or less speed zone. Probably less because there will be lots of boats trying to launch around you as you try and come into the park. So be respectful, right? Because if you hit another vehicle, you hit a boat, you're not going to make it to your start. We have park officials. They'll be in their ranger outfits, say state of California on them. If they ask for something, be polite, say yes, because we're excited that we've got to host this event for the second time now. We'd like to host it for another time, and we need the park permits to be able to do it. A reminder, your tow rig gets to park where we've designated, but your tow rig is not a last-minute, last-ditch, put all your athletes in the back of it and run them into the park. You will be cited, and they will make you wait, and again, you will miss your race. First aid is here under the tent. We have talked about to the coaches, we have had a large increase of rattlesnakes this year. So if you find one, it is not a spectator sport, right? Send somebody to the tent so that we can come and relocate that snake for you, right? We don't want any of you to be bit. So far, nobody's been bit, but I am becoming very proficient at carrying snakes in boxes that I don't like to do. Launching and landing area, there are no parents, only wristbanded athletes and wristbanded coaches are allowed in that area, right? Your parents still don't know what duck means, okay? So let's really make sure to expedite that area and make it go quickly. In the beach launch down here, where a lot of the athletes are, the beach is marked 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the launching. All right, they're going to tell you which area to go to. It's marked off in the white chalk. Go to your area. Be quick. Just like I said, be ready to get out of the van. Be ready to get in your boat, right? There's no running back because I forgot my Cox box. No running back because my speed coach is still in my backpack at my boat area, right? Because there will be people that will help push you off and say sorry, right? Be prepared. So that's all I have. I hope you have a wonderful event.
What time do the shuttles start in the morning?
The shuttles will start at 6 a.m. And the other question was, what time do the shuttles end? The shuttles will end a half hour after racing ends. And there will be announcements that the shuttle is ending. All right? Thank you so much. Have a great time. I'm turning you over to your chief official, Alice Henderson.
I also want to say welcome and congratulations for being here. As a referee, I think sometimes you don't think the best of us, but we really do have a great team, and we're trying to disprove that. If you have a bad opinion, if you already like us, then you might like us more. I was a high school coach. I know how hard it and how long you worked to get here. I had a 4 that won the national championships. I know some of you seniors, this is the last time you're going to row in a uniform you've raced in for 6 years. You're going to row next to people you haven't rowed, you will never row again with, and how important this is to you. Our goal is that we figure out who the national champion is on the water. I know that's your goal too. There's hoops that you have to go through, but we're going to line you up even, and you guys figure it out who's fastest. So that means you need to be prepared, as Dee Dee was saying, and you need to do certain things that maybe in your region you don't do, but you're not in your region, you're at a national championship. So every single year, there is someone who's crying that they didn't realize they had to weigh in, and they don't do that in that region, and it sucks to watch people crying because they didn't carry their weight with them. So you got here, feel free to read the packet and the rule books if you haven't done that yet. It's part of your taper. I know, Ed's over there saying, what packet? So Coxswains and lightweights, every day you race, you get to weigh in once in a window, and I will stay up here afterward and answer questions. So if you didn't understand any of that, come see me, because it was to you, all right? So Coxswains and lightweights, every day you get to weigh in. If you're a coxswain and you're under the limit and you carry dead weight, you're supposed to race with it, because we're going to look at it at the end of the race. If you left it in your van, you will be walking. Your boat will be so pissed at you. So carry your dead weight with you. Your boat weight, it becomes the tent of tears when you've just moved on to the grand final and you forgot to test weight because you read the little manufacturer tag and they said you were fine, and now we find you're a kilo off. So much crying, so much drama. Just test weigh your boat, add some extra pounds in there, and don't have that drama. Again, let's figure it out on the water. All right, so that's your job to figure that out, and our job is to line you up evenly and get you down the course in your own lane. When you take your oars, I'm hoping you've all practiced already, please bring your oars down early. Feel free to open your oar locks to help get out quickly. By early, we mean 15 minutes. We don't mean 6 hours, because then there's no room for other people's stuff. So bring your oars down about 15 minutes before you want to launch. It's part of your jog warm-up. And then take your shoes, coaches, it's part of your taper, take their shoes, get a bucket, do something, put it in your boat, but don't leave your stuff. People's shoes have already wandered off that they left behind, and I think it's because someone forgot their shoes rather than they were stolen, but we aren't really there supervising your gear, so don't leave it with us, please. When you go up the course, regardless of where you launch from, you will go by the aligning station. So while you've been practicing, there's like this little deck to the right as you go up near the start line. That's the aligning platform. On race day, if you go up and we're trying to align, it kind of screws up our universe that you've gone in there, right? Because we're looking at the line and now you're on the line. So we will have a stop sign that quietly asks you to stop before you get there. You will see our flag up. It'll be 2 minutes before the race. So if you know the schedule, you know you're not supposed to cross in front of there. So plan your time accordingly that we don't make you stop there. It's a great, if you've never raced here before, we do silent alignment up there. It's super quiet. You can hear people 5 lanes away hyperventilating, right? It sucks that the aligner's like, way enough, stop, because his quad's barreling through. So don't be that team, right? Look at the signs. There are 3 of them. So figure out how not to be the ones rowing through the nice silent alignment. You'll warm up in the traffic pattern. You didn't get to do that for practices because bad things happen in a traffic pattern when everybody's up there. We have a swim line to try and stop bad things from happening. We have 2 launches that are up there, and you guys again are national champions. When you're in the warm-up area, defensive driving. All right, defensive driving. You all know the stories about people with punctured lungs and boats severed. That's not going to happen. We're going to make good choices in that warm-up area. And if you're a blind boat, you probably don't want to do a 30 up there, especially for time trials, because everyone here is going to be this close in that warm-up area. Feel free to warm up here, get up there, do a loop, get on the course. All right, defensive driving up there. We are supervising you, but one rogue quad or 8 and you're all in danger. So make good choices in that warm-up area. Then when you come down, you're gonna come around lane 7 and you will come in and lock on. Now I'm talking about regular racing, not time trials. I'll go back to that. You do not have to be in order, because if I was lane 1, I would dawdle and give you all false starts. So you don't have to be in order. It's wise. It might be more efficient, but if lane 1's doing their hair, go around them and get in your lane so you don't get a warning. All right, so then you come onto the course, you're gonna be in your lane, you're gonna lock on, you all know how to scull your boat around. If you've never had a stake boat, come talk to me, because I'll help you with that. So you're gonna have someone holding your boat. They're not gonna stop you. If you ram the dock, that's bad, so just ease on in. You're gonna get up, you're gonna go down the course, you're gonna stay in your lane, it's gonna be happiness, best row of your life. You'll cross the finish line that's over here. When you're done here, you can do a cool down, clockwise over there, or you can turn and go back. No matter where your dock is that you return to, at some point, you will cross in front of the finish line. Same as the aligning line. An extra boat in the middle of a race makes our timing system a little wonky. So if you're launching from the canal, you will have to stop when a race is coming down. And if you're returning over here, you will have to stop when a race is coming down. Bottom line, the 2 lines, you don't want to cross it when it's not your turn to race. So pay attention to that, please. Parents, they are great. I have a kid who plays club soccer. I think I'm a nice parent. The athletes are the best part of this regatta. You guys are so awesome. You're great to talk to. You're really good. Have a chat with your parents. Some of them are super high maintenance. The coaches are nodding. We need to keep our parents under control. They cannot come out and help you launch. They cannot follow you around. They cannot get in my face and say, oh, they had a bad race, you need to advance them. That's really bad. So we need to help our parents to behave well, all right? So lollipops, whatever it takes, let's keep them in their tents. If you want them to carry your shoes, that's cool. But we need to all work together to keep our parents in line. Because I don't want to kick anybody out, but I'm happy to do it if they're out of control. All right, that's my parent talk. Okay, time trials. Time trials are going to be awesome and exciting. It's going to be a barn burner. We're all excited for it. It's like everybody go through weigh-ins who's supposed to be in there. We have 7 sails set up to get you guys out of there. The tagline for weigh-ins tomorrow is Disneyland meets TSA. It's going to be happy and fast. Nice TSA, right? There's nice TSA and bad TSA. We are going to be fast and happy. Everyone gets through. Everyone gets to go eat. So then we get through there, and then we all launch quickly and happily, and we get up there safely in the warm-up area, and we come down super fast. If by some chance you are super fast, but darn it, the national champions are right behind you, and they're moving on you, it is your job to move over. Lane 3 moves to lane 2, lane 4 moves to lane 5. If you do not yield, you will be excluded. You'll be the only boat that raced once and not twice at nationals. Please assume that you're the second fastest team here. They're moving on you, move over. You know what that looks like. Just move over, don't get kicked out. Hot tip, once you move over, race there. You don't have to come back. Short distance, man, go that way, get down there fast. If by some unfortunate chance you have breakage in the time trial, the packet says move over. Move over and race in that lane, right? Like 3-seat, jumped his seat and can't figure out how to put it back on and you're gimping along. That's fine, that's what 3-seat does. Move off and go down the course, right? I said I coached. So move off, stay on the course, but go into the slow lane so that you could get to go to the reps after talking to 3-seat, all right? If you do not finish, bad things, like finish the race. Whatever it takes, finish that race, okay? That's the time trials. Finish every race is a hot tip. But in the time trials, yield if you're not that fast. You don't have to come back. You don't have to move all over the place. Just get out of the lane once, race on down, hope to make it to the race you belong in, all right? I think that's what I have. really, if you did not understand something I said, if you've never had a steak boat, I am happy to be over here and give a clinic. AJ texted me about a month ago. He was at somebody's meeting. He's like, this sucks. Don't make it a bad meeting. I'm like, okay, I'll try. But I'm not going to tell you the rules of rowing as a group, but individually, all day, whatever you need so that you have your optimum race. All right, good luck.
Yep, so just like she said, any questions this weekend? This tent is kind of the hub for the regatta. Someone from U.S. Rowing will either have an answer or be able to find it for you. So the last thing we have tonight, U.S. Rowing CEO Patrick McNerney is going to come and give a brief update on the work that the Junior Lightweight Task Force has been doing over the last few months. So,
thanks. That's why I like a referee with a sense of humor. For those of you who haven't met me, Patrick McNerney, I'm the CEO for U.S. Rowing. And before I get started, I do want to recognize, first and foremost, the contribution of the LOC and of Diane and her team. I think you're up for a great event. Second, do want to also congratulate you, the athletes and the coaches. As AJ said at the beginning, it's a great achievement that you're here. And we're here to help obviously organize the event and make sure you have a good experience. And third, I do want to thank the referees. As Alice said, the referees are here for the health and safety and fairness of this regatta, and obviously that's a big part of what we're here about. And that's the theme of the Junior Lightweight Task Force. For those of you that may recall, back in January, we took on an engagement to really look at junior lightweights and really understand how we're structured and how we move forward. And the theme being that we, the coaches, administrators, we all have an obligation to really support the safety and health of our athletes. So you may recall about 2 months ago, we published an article and we introduced some protocols. Again, these are not formal, but in an audit that we conducted over a number of months, what became very apparent to me as a CEO is that there are programs out there that have very good protocols in terms of checking weights, setting up and monitoring those weights throughout the seasons, and there are others that maybe had some gaps. So we published a protocol from the Virginia Scholastic Rowing Association. It's very ambitious in terms of structure, but it's there focusing on the safety of the athletes. It won't surprise you that it's drawn from the experience of the Wrestling Federation. Wrestling, many, many years ago, encountered some issues, or some tragedies rather, in terms of how their lightweight programs were managed, and they introduced these protocols. So what the Junior Lightweight Task Force did as a first step was to publish the Virginia Scholastic Rowing Association's protocols. I encourage you, if you haven't looked at it, to go back to a U.S. Rowing website and to review it. Because one of the options that we're looking at over the long term is to put some parameters and structure around the lightweight weigh-ins and how we identify our athletes. And again, what I've observed in the short time that I've been here is a lot of you, or all of you, let's start there, you have protocols in place, good athlete identification, but there are instances where it's not the case. And ultimately, we have a responsibility to our athletes to make sure that their health and safety is secure. Second part of this task force, which we're in the middle of, is they're gathering data. So we're dealing with a constituency of athletes, 15, 16, 17, 18, if you like, that we're at a point in our lives, or their lives, I should say, which is very much focused on growth and development. So again, talking to my colleagues at the Wrestling Association and with the Wrestling Coaches Association, they did a lot of research in terms of the impact of artificially reducing weight. Again, nothing definitive, but one of the directives that came from the board of directors and from the constituents generally is gather data. So we're in the process of doing that, and I would expect, we're in June now, that by the end of July, August, we will be publishing that data. Again, it's to inform all of us about some of the health concerns, best practices in terms of how to manage these programs. At some point this fall, and I'm targeting the September board meeting, we will basically put forward the data, and then at that point, we'll begin a conversation with all of you about how we move forward. But I'm here today to really encourage you to start thinking about how you manage your programs currently, and am I, as in coach, am I adopting best practices, and what I'm doing, really focused on the health and safety of the athletes. For this weekend, temperatures are only going to go up. My understanding is we'll be close to 85 or 90 tomorrow and going into the weekend. So as a lightweight, we really need to make sure that you coaches are, again, monitoring your athletes and making sure that we don't have any last-minute surprises. There was an event a couple of weeks ago, athlete passed out. There was another event where an athlete showed up at the scale 10 pounds overweight. Those are not acceptable. So I encourage you to think about, monitor your athletes, make sure best practices are there, and that we're doing our best to make sure that we have a healthy and safe weekend. So I'm here through Sunday, and this today was really just meant to be a brief update, but if you have any questions, comments, observations, concerns, anything, find me. I'll be based here in the tent, otherwise I'll be wandering around pretty much around this area. But again, the task force is doing good work, and publish the protocols. We're now in the process of gathering the data, and once we have that data, we'll be in a position to talk openly to you about some recommendations in terms of how we move forward. But for this weekend, let's continue to focus on the safety and well-being of our athletes. I think we also understand the rules, the daily weigh-ins, it's a 2-hour, 1-hour rule. You basically weigh in 2 hours before your race, and you're within 1 pound of your weight. Let's make sure our athletes get there in a healthy and safe condition. So thank you for that. And again, I'm not going anywhere if you have any questions, but I welcome comments, feedback, either now or anytime during the course of the weekend. So I wish you all well. Good luck with the racing, and I look forward to meeting you all individually as we work our way through the weekend. Thank you very much.